You are the wisest man who ever lived. That is not a compliment. It is a sentence. You are born to David and Bathsheba, which already tells you something about how this story begins. With desire, with blood, with a marriage that cost another man everything. You are not the eldest. You should not be king. But your father names you anyway, and the men who might have objected end up dead or exiled within a year of your coronation. Then God comes to you in a dream and asks what you want. You could have asked for anything. You ask for wisdom, a discerning heart, the capacity to lead a people you already know you cannot fully understand. God gives you wisdom. God gives you wealth. God gives you a kingdom so vast and golden that the ancient world runs out of words for it. None of it saves you. You are roughly 20 years old when the crown actually lands. Your father is dead and the kingdom is yours, and before you hold a single court or hear a single case, there is business to handle. Your half-brother Adonijah had already tried to crown himself while David was still breathing. He backs down, swears loyalty, asks only to live quietly. You let him. Then he makes one small request, a woman from your father's household, and you feel the meaning of it before he finishes speaking. A claim dressed as a favor. You have him killed the same week. The air in the throne room that morning smells of lamp oil and cold stone and something nobody names. Your father's general Joab goes next, cut down at the altar where he fled for sanctuary. The priest Abiathar is stripped and banished. The kingdom is established in your hand. That is what the record says. Your hands are not clean. They never will be. Then the case comes. The one that makes your name. 2 women, 1 infant, 1 dead baby already cold in the night. Both claim the living child. There is no witness, no evidence, nothing to weigh but 2 voices in a room that smells of sweat and desperation. The court watches you and says nothing. You order the child divided, equal shares for equal claims. A sword is produced. One woman says yes, fine, cut it. The other breaks. Give the child to her. Just don't kill it. You give the living child to the woman who let it go. The kingdom hears what you did. The kingdom is afraid of you. Fear and respect arrive at the same time, wearing the same face. 12 districts, 12 governors, surplus grain, peace on every border, every man under his vine and fig tree, which is the ancient way of saying nobody is starving and nobody is at war. The closest thing to paradise your kingdom will ever manage. It will not last. 7 years. That is how long it takes to build God a house. 30,000 men sent to Lebanon in rotating shifts to cut cedar. 80,000 quarrying stone in the hills. 70,000 carrying loads. The cedar comes down in great lengths that smell of resin and cold mountain air, sharp enough to cut through the dust of the building site. That is not counting the craftsmen, the bronze workers, the men beating gold into sheets thin enough to cover walls. You do not call this a construction project. Nobody does. But that is what it is. The largest coordinated labor in your kingdom's history, running 7 years without stopping. When it is finished, the interior glows. Gold on the walls, the floors, the outstretched wings of the cherubim above the ark. The inner sanctuary is dark and close and smells of cedar and burnt offering and something older than both. Then God fills it. A cloud so thick the priests cannot stand. You pray, will God really dwell on earth? Even heaven cannot contain you. That humility is the last uncomplicated thing you will feel. Then 13 years for your own house. God's temple took 7. Your palace takes 13. Nobody says this out loud. Nobody needs to. Your annual income is 666 talents of gold. Before taxes, before tribute, before the caravans that cross your territory and pay for the privilege. The drinking cups are pure gold. The throne has 6 steps and a lion carved on either side of each step, 12 lions total, and the wood beneath the gold is so dense it does not creak when you sit. Silver is considered worthless in Jerusalem during your reign. That is not a metaphor. That is an accounting note. The Queen of Sheba travels from the ends of the earth to test you. She sees the palace, the tables, the servants, the offerings. The breath goes out of her entirely. She says the half was never told. She gives you more gold and spice than you have ever received at once, asks everything she came to ask, receives every answer. Then she leaves. Everyone comes. No one stays. You have 700 wives, 300 more women kept as concubines. Say that slowly. Each wife arrived as a treaty, a sealed alliance with Moab, Ammon, Edom, Sidon, the Hittites, Egypt. You did not marry for desire, or not only for desire. You married for borders, for trade routes, for the guarantee of quiet nights. You know what you are thinking. This is not weakness. This is statecraft. But God had told you, in specific language, with no room for interpretation, never to do this. Do not marry foreign women. They will turn your heart. You had the wisdom to understand exactly what that warning meant. The warning was not unclear. You married them anyway. All 700. In old age, the altars appear on the hill east of Jerusalem. Ashtoreth, Chemosh, Moloch. You can smell the smoke from the palace on certain mornings, drifting in through the cedar beams, catching in the curtains. You do not smash the altars. You let it run. You knew. You married them anyway. God comes to you a second time. The first time he came, you were young and the night was full of possibility, and he offered you anything you could name. This time, there is no offer. This time, the voice arrives the way a verdict arrives, without ceremony, without warmth, already decided. Because you have done this, he says, I will tear the kingdom from your son, not from you, for your father's sake, not from you. But the son who inherits what you built will inherit it broken. And there is nothing left to do about that now. The adversaries rise almost immediately. You feel it before you see it, the way you feel a change in weather. Hadad in Edom, Rezon in Damascus, then Jeroboam, one of your own officials, a man you promoted, someone whose face you know. A prophet meets him on a road outside Jerusalem, takes off his cloak, tears it into 12 pieces with his hands, and gives Jeroboam 10. In front of witnesses, you try to kill Jeroboam. He flees to Egypt and waits. The fracture is already in the stone. It just is not shown yet. You reigned 40 years in total. Somewhere in those years, between the treaties and the altars and the slow fracturing of everything you built, you write. Proverbs first. The wisdom of a younger man, still believing that discipline produces outcomes, that the world rewards the careful. Then the Song of Songs, the work of a man who had 1,000 women and was, in some room of himself, still lonely. Then Ecclesiastes, the last performance review of a life. You list everything: the houses, the vineyards, the gardens, the reservoirs, the silver, the singers, the achievement that exceeded everyone before you. You held nothing back. You denied yourself nothing your eyes desired. Then you looked at everything your hands had done and wrote the only sentence left to write. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. You, of all people, the man who asked God for wisdom and received it, who built God a house and watched God fill it. You write that. You die at around 60. 40 years on the throne, and the death itself is unremarkable. Buried in the city of David with his fathers. The same formula they use for every king, every time, until the words stop meaning anything. Rehoboam inherits. The kingdom comes to him intact technically, and the people come to him with one request. Your father's yoke was heavy, they say. Their backs still carry the shape of it. Ease it, and we will serve you. His older advisors say, listen. His young friends say, crush them harder. He chooses his young friends. Within days, the 10 northern tribes are gone. Jeroboam comes back from Egypt. The kingdom tears exactly along the seam the prophet drew on that road with his hands in a borrowed cloak, exactly as promised, not a year early and not a year late. 2 kingdoms now where there was one. The temple still stands. The glory is already fading. Somewhere in Jerusalem, a young boy is starting to wonder why the kingdom his grandfather built is already coming apart. That boy's story is just beginning. Yours is done.